My name is Steve Rothenberg, and I'm the very proud principal of the CRTC. I want to, no, you don't need to play, don't play. I want to warn you slightly tonight that we have a brand new PA in here, and I do have a bit of a high-speed speech pattern. I have a bit of a Boston speech pattern, despite the fact that I've been in New Hampshire for 30 years. So I'm going to work hard to make sure you can hear me, and if you can't hear me, I want you to do the best you can to let us know by waving your hand or something of that sort. We're trying out this new PA. So at this point, I want to welcome students, employees, parents, guardians, siblings, grandparents, relatives, friends, and alumni to the 2022 CRTC Completers Ceremony, aptly named Comp Night. And at this moment, I'd like you all to get revved up, stand up if necessary, hoot, holler if necessary, and we're going to call in all of our students and teachers. Bring them on in, Ann. Woo! And last but not least, our fabulous teachers. Come on in. Well done. I can assure you tonight, based on my 14 plus years and almost 28 years in the Concord School District, the stars lined up, it being 60 degrees outside. Those of you who've been to Concord High Gymnasium on a 90-degree day, this is a nice setup right here. So at this point, I'd like to call up Riley Nash. Let's go, Riley. Riley's a senior at Concord High. She's a second-year student in our theater and film acting program. And she's been an active participant in the CHS Drama Club, as well as in the production of Once recently. Please rise for the national anthem. You want to hold the mic? You want to speak it? Good luck. Thanks, Riley.
Oh, sing, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
At this point, I want to recognize a few of our honored guests. I believe we have Brian O'Connell here, Rebecca Gagnon, Melissa Brown. I bet you're going to miss a couple over here from our sending schools. If I get one, I'll call them back a little bit. I appreciate that. And Rebecca Gagnon, who's got dual role tonight also. So just review our program tonight. I'm going to put my clip in. I'm going to say a few words to get us going. We have a couple of student speeches, a video, a couple more student speeches. We're going to celebrate some honorees and then award their certificates. And believe it or not, I generally guarantee we get it done in 60 minutes. I might need 70 tonight in the worst case scenario because we got the cold weather, but it won't go beyond 70 minutes. Remember, 60 minutes is one Netflix show, okay? So don't, this is a relatively big event. So usually at this time, I give a sort of emphatic State of the Union of the CRTC. I like to be bold, and I like to be loud. This time, I'm splitting my speech up a little bit. Instead, I'm going to give you a couple of data points to talk about the CRTC and show you where we are, and then I'm going to give a brief reflection. Many of you know this, but this is my last address after 14 years. I'll be retiring. And I want to make sure I say a few words. From here on in, don't worry about me, okay? I'm not the show here. So here's a couple of neat pieces of data. So we do annual surveys of all our students, and we get at least 85 to 90% participation in the survey. So here's 4 results of that survey from March this year with our students at random and anonymously. 99% of students surveyed either strongly agreed or agreed that their teacher conveys a passion for their content. 99%, again, either strongly agreed or agreed with the statement, teachers value industry experiences and opportunities outside of school. 92% strongly agreed with the statement, with the help of the CRTC, I am hopeful about my future. How about that? I told you this session is going to be brief. I'm going to give you one set of numbers. In 2008, the CRTC had 502 students. Next year, we expect 750. I want to add more to it. Wait 1 second. I want to add more to it. That's a 50% increase. While at the same time, in our catchment area of 9 major high schools, in 2008, there was 7,026 students. In 2022, there's 5,683. So we've gone up 50%, and the schools have gone down 24%. As Bob Dylan said, the times, they are a-changing. Now I want to do a little demonstration for you. So bear with me, and students, I'm going to need your help. I want to ask you, and the best I can, I'm going to describe what I need you to do. I'm going to give you a marker. Like, for example, I'm going to say, please stand up, don't do it yet, if you did a work-based learning experience outside of the CRTC, not physically at our location. So let's do that one first. Please stand up if you did a work-based learning experience outside of this building. All right, sit down. Please stand up if you earned college credits, hold on, or hours towards a certificate, which is for cosmetology. All right, thank you. Please stand up if you earned an industry-recognized certificate. Let me explain. EMT, LNA, ASE, OSHA, Adobe, and many of the other ones you know. Please stand up if you earned an industry-recognized certificate. All right, we're going to do one last one that's going to be small, that's going to show you where we need to grow. Please stand up if you did an ELO with us, took a college class at the college, or did a CRTC Plus experience. So look, we have a value proposition, and I say it revolves around 3 things. Number 1, relationships. Number 2, energizing pathways that fuse the present and the future. And number 3, engaging and relevant curriculum. Those 3 things are our promise. And I think when you see these students standing, we're an organization, to the credit of our teachers, that stick to that, and we prove we have value. And so I'm very proud. Now I'm going to talk about myself very briefly in my experience here. So when you retire, raise your hand if you've retired in this audience right here. Raise your hand up high. It's a very weird experience on the last couple of months, right? So people walk up to me all the time and they say, are you counting the days? And I want you to know that I'm not counting the days. As a matter of fact, I'm just working away. I have a dream job. I love to watch students work. I love asking them questions. I love learning what they're learning. I am a curious person, and this place is Valhalla for a curious person. I wish the people in the audience could take my glasses and see what I see every day. If you ever felt poorly about the future of America, I can assure you that if you wore my glasses, you would not. Whether I'm walking through criminal justice, or graphic design, or computer engineering, or construction trades, or educational behavior science, what I get when I ask the question what you're doing is so fascinating. These students are engaged, they want to share, they're happy, I tour people through here, and they turn and they say, I didn't really expect this. Everybody's happy here. And I'm like, okay, that's a good starting point for what we got to rethink about school right now. So I'm going to miss this. And like Batman Begins, I'm going to give two little tidbits about my own history. The first goes way back in time when I was your age, at age 17. I went to a high school that was the classic, you must go to college high school. And I played the game, but I didn't get it. I didn't know why I was going to go to college. I knew that that was the expectation of me. And in my last semester of my senior year, I had English 12 with Mr. Chamberlain. And for some reason, I got a book called Working by a fellow named Studs Terkel. Studs Terkel was a cigar-smoking Chicagoan who was very crusty at best. And he wrote a book, and if I could give the byline to it, people talk about what they do all day and how they feel about what they do. And what he did was he went out to the world and he interviewed people who did a variety of jobs. And he captured their pride and their story and what they do. And I, at 17, I think it's fair to say, that may have been my first experience where I sort of got what it was going to be like on the other side. And it was sad that at age 17, I had this one little moment where I got to give a book report on Studs Terkel and Working. But oddly enough, this is the book, and it has my highlights in it, from 1984, when I read it and I shared it. I can't stress enough that there are stories to tell in America through work that we all need to embrace. What Terkel says in this book and the honor he gives to people in their pride is something I hope everybody, you all experience as you travel the world and as you pursue your careers. The second story of my Batman Begins is Superintendent Chris Rath, who was one of my mentors. And in January 2008, Chris Rath asked me to be the CTE director. As I say now, I knew nothing about CTE. I could not even spell it. I looked at CTE at that time as a place where you go and you're never going to be heard from again. I took the job, I took the jump, I trusted, and boy, did it work out. I never would have thought I'd be here 14 years later. So when I jump ahead and I move on from my past to the present, I think about what makes us special. And you know what it all whittles down to? Students choosing. When you see every student out here, as well as our other students who are level 1 students, not a single one needs to be at the CRTC. 100% of them chose to come to us. They looked around, they looked at their options, and they boldly decided that the CRC could offer them something. You chose to come here, and if you're a Concord High kid, you walk down the hall. If you're a Kearsarge kid, you ride a bus more than an hour a day. And interestingly enough, when you chose to come here, I can almost assure you that there were people around you, good people, who care about you in your sphere, who said, maybe this is not a good idea. I'm going to ask a hand-raising question. How many people here in this audience, be honest, 2 years ago, when your child said, I'm thinking about going to the CRTC, had a little concern about it? Raise your hand. Not many. Okay, well, that's a good sign. I'd ask that every year. Well, my experience going back 14 years ago was when that student said, I want to go to the CRTC, there was some doubt. The doubt was never today. I've never seen the doubt today. But that doubt was when that student had to step forward and say, I care about this. This is what I want to do. So to your credit, you made a good choice. You said the current model is not for you. You don't want to go through high school, going through a standard set of courses. You want to augment what you do. What I think about, and you didn't at that time, but I think you do now, is that you're in a position, and if you look at American data for American high schools, the measure we make nowadays is not graduate high school, but where you're going to be 2 to 6 years down the road. The decision you made today, puts you in a position to be in a much better place 2 to 6 years down the road than the average high school student by every measure possible. In fact, the audience might not be aware of this, more CTE students attend college than non-CTE students attend college. Things have changed. So look, what do I think about an organization? And when I think about an organization, the only way we have success is we share values. You can have different tactics than me. You might approach something differently than I do, but if we don't have the same values, we're not going to be a good organization. So what do I think? Maybe you're going to become an advertising art director. Maybe you're going to be a police officer. Maybe a plumber. Maybe a physical therapist. Maybe a paramedic. Maybe a restaurant owner. A cybersecurity expert. A makeup person. Social worker. Auto technician. Movie director. Film editor. Or maybe an entrepreneur. But look, here's what we believe. All careers are equal. Yes, equal. Not to be mistaken, they're not the same. The second we in schools begin valuing one over another, we send signals. Those signals ruin education, they ruin spirit, they ruin hopes, and they ruin engagement. So many are left behind because of it. A school community must challenge and support a student to find their voice, develop their own path, and pursue it with vigor. To get there, they need to see it, they need to experience it, and they need to touch it. And nothing should be random, and nothing just should be winged. This is a serious business. You all know colleges cost $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year. How about that kid who doesn't know what they want? The second major belief we share, and you'll get a kick out of this one, is I think most parents know this, you don't control your kid. They're going to go down a road that the road they're going to take. And what I challenge you to think about is your dream as a parent is that your kid has voice. They have agency, they know what they want, they know how to make a plan, they know how to go for it, they know how to travel the world and be strategic. And I think sometimes we say the word going to college, and really that's not the essence of it. The essence of it is college is a secondary factor. We need to help you figure out what you want. We need to figure out how you're going to get there. I call it simply when I see a kid, what you got? What do you have? So lifelong career success, whether you're a surgeon, an auto technician, a federal agent, a teacher, a line cook, is about caring and learning, and being disciplined, and having a vision, and owning it, and going out of your comfort zone, and adapting and learning more. There's a reason lifelong learner is in our mission statement. So, CRTC teachers, to the highest degree, they give our kids oomph. They help students grow a voice, embrace a voice, and attack what they're going to do. Sadly, some of the expectations of schools suffer in that area. We have things like high attendance policies. To earn your grades, you have to do a presentation every single quarter called SPUR. These are high expectations. Why? They correlate to long-term success, and they cannot be compromised. I say to you in the audience here, be prepared to stand out. It's not a joke. It's what we do. You heard our alumni talk in January. So to conclude, going back to Studs Terkel, in my senior year in 1984, the world's not the same by any means. In '84, I knew nothing about the world compared to what you know about the world. I'm a Gen Xer. You're a Gen Zer. And they say about Gen Z students, or Gen Z youth, you don't really care that much about work as the people in the audience, your parents, and your grandparents, and your guardians. I don't really buy that. You are going to be in a better space when you have a balanced life, which inevitably involves work, as well as play and as well as family. It's a safe assumption that quality work will give you many of the great satisfaction that will help you to find yourself as a person. I know from speaking to you, and many of you, you realize this now. So to wrap up, a funny story from yesterday. Mr. Close was out of school yesterday, and I was his sub in the theater and film class. It's always fun. And I sat there sort of quietly listening and watching students as they did their work and had a good time together. And they were joyful. They know each other inside and out. They had a lot of routines together. But you know what? The whole time they were working hard, getting their things done. And I laughed while I was in there, and I was listening to Lulu and Twee and Benny talk about getting parts in the play Rent this summer. But then at the same time, I thought of all of our other programs, whether it be auto or graphic design or computer engineering or cosmetology or criminal justice. And they're all the exact same thing. A group of students got together, they went on a journey together, they made an incredible relationship with their teacher, and off we go. The camaraderie and positivity is nothing to take lightly. Our programs build it. Adults and students alike are a team through thick and thin. It's amazing and humbling every day. I'll say this with absolute confidence. I believe your experience with the CRTC puts you ahead of your peers. You are industry and college ready. I look forward to a future, as does the audience, with you CRTC students in our community as adults. And I thank you for bearing with me as I explain my reflection. Okay, now you get to hear from who you really want to hear from, which is our students. We have 4 student speakers tonight, and those of you who have been to CRC Comp Night before, you're going to hear some terrific speeches. You're going to hear the things you don't hear at high school graduation. And I say that after attending many high school graduations. These students are going to talk about their journey and their growth, and you're going to relate to it very quickly. So right off the bat, I'm going to call our first 2 speakers up, so they're up close here. Elle and Bailey, can you guys come up here, please? As well as Miss Kim and Mr. Close, you can join us too. Elle, you're going to go first, so you can just have a seat right there. No rush. So, Elle Dupre is from our cosmetology program, and I'm going to turn it over to her. Do you have your speech, okay?
Yes. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Elle Dupre. I'm a cosmetology student and a senior from Pembroke Academy. Looking back at where I was before I enrolled in CRTC, I was lost in where I wanted to do as a career in the future. I had my thoughts of what I wanted, but I always knew I wanted to join the cosmetology field. When I received the CRTC brochure during my sophomore year, I was unsure if I wanted to enroll. As a Pembroke Academy student, I was nervous of going to another school in the middle of the day and seeing people I have never met before. My mom, on the other hand, was persistent in me wanting to do it. I decided to shadow the cosmetology program for a day and loved it, and I immediately applied. I was so excited when I got the acceptance letter. When I joined CRTC in 2020, there was only 2 other girls from my sending school. I was a little bit nervous, but eventually made new friends who I am now really close with. I was always looking forward to becoming a hairdresser and a salon owner. Over these past 2 years, after going through hairstyling and haircutting, I realized that hairdressing was not going to work for me, and couldn't see myself doing it in the future. I explored more options in the cosmetology field. There was a thought of being a nail technician. Once we went through the manicure and pedicure chapters in class, I was not a fan of that either. I again explored my options and came across aesthetics. I found it so interesting learning about skincare and making people feel good, although I wanted to do more than just performing facials and waxings. I recently found out you can go so far in aesthetics such as laser hair removal and Botox. When I heard of that option, I immediately knew that was what I wanted to do. Talking to different estheticians and how their career started definitely inspired me. These options put this career at an entirely different pay scale, which appealed to me. As many of you know in the audience, skin is not cheap. As I was doing my research on schools, I found that injectables such as Botox requires a registered nursing license. I spoke to Ms. Kim about this and she helped, as well as my mom, who is a registered nurse. Yes, nursing school is a hard field to learn, but I am up for that challenge. That being said, I will be attending Chattanooga State Community College in Tennessee, which offers me both careers. This fall, I will be attending the aesthetics program for 9 months, and shortly after, I will attend the nursing program for 2 years. Being a CRTC student impacted what I wanted to do in the future. It helped me explore my options and made me confident of what I wanted to do after high school. If I did not enroll in CRTC, I think I would be just as lost as I was before. Thank you, and have a great night.
Hold on. You memorize, or you're going to read?
Read some of
Okay, just go pretty close to the mic at first and back you off. Maybe a little further away. There you go. All right, let me present you next, by the way.
This is Bailey Kern from our theater and film program.
Hi, I'm Bailey, and I'm graduating from the Theater and Film Tech and Design program, but this is actually my second time graduating from the CRTC. I completed the acting program 2 years ago. As a kid, people are always asking you, what do you want to be when you grow up? I knew when I was 10, I wanted to be an actress. When I told my friends and teachers and family members that I wanted to be an actress, people responded with laughter, concern, or clarifying that they meant a real job. The summer before 9th grade, I interned at a local theater company, RB Productions, and I was riding around in a U-Haul with our producer, and he asked me that question that I had learned to dread. What do you want to be when you grow up? I said, I know it's silly, but I want to be an actress on Broadway. He responded with something that changed my life. He said that he would do anything to help me get where I wanted to be, and that if I was ready to do the work, anything would be possible. I don't know if you've figured it out yet, but that was my teacher, Mr. Close. Before I knew it, I was sitting in my first class on my first day of high school, CRTC acting, and Mr. Close was telling us we had to do weekly monologues. I was terrified until about the 10th day. Monologues, which are short excerpts from plays, actually turned out to be great bonding experiences. They demand a huge amount of vulnerability. Now imagine a class of nerds and outcasts allowing themselves to be vulnerable for an hour and a half every day at school. It's no wonder we ended up being like a family. In acting, we learned about an actor's vital skills and studied Udo Hagen and Stanislavski's techniques. I built a strong working resume of local and professional theater and even some film. At 15, in my 60th production, I played Elsa in Frozen, which was a total dream role. And yeah, 60th production. I'm busy. Before I knew what had happened, I had graduated my acting class in 2020, and the following September, I was a junior, sitting in my CRTC tech class for the first time. Again, terrified. This time because I was an actor, sitting in a class of techies. Even Mr. Close jokes that actors shouldn't be allowed to touch power tools. How was I supposed to have them respect me as a technician? This time it wasn't 10 days before I felt accepted. More like 5. I was once again surrounded by my own little theater family. These kids are way more nerdy than actors. Over the past 2 years, I have booked jobs as a lighting designer, a sound designer, and a technical supervisor. One of the best things about the performing arts is that you learn from your mentors and your peers, so I have to give credit where it's due. To my CRTC classmates, you taught me I never have to be scared to be myself or to be loud about it. To my teacher, Mr. Close, there are so many things I should say thank you for, putting up with me for 4 years, and with everyone when we are loudly being ourselves. But I have to say thank you for a few things in particular. First, for supporting all of us in whatever we're doing, from math homework to drafting responses to job offers. He's helped me with both on many occasions. Secondly, for creating a healthy and supportive community. Mr. Close, you make our classroom a family. And finally, thank you for believing in all of us. You were the first person to take my dreams seriously and the most influential person in making them a reality. I recently found the reflection I wrote as a freshman on my first year of CRTC. I opened with this statement. From coming to my favorite classroom in the school every day, to being with people I love, to meeting professionals, and above all, learning more than I ever thought I could in a school year, how can this experience not be the highlight of my year and the highlight of every day? This still sums up my experience in CRTC, but I now know this was the highlight of my entire high school experience. Mr. Close says, if you do the work, anything is possible. I currently work as a freelance choreographer and sound designer, and in a few months I will be living in New York City, studying musical theater, and I'll be attending AMDA, a college of the performing arts that has been in the top 10 most represented schools on Broadway for the past 4 years. I have done the work to get here, and I am literally living a dream I've had since I was 10. Recently, I've had the joy of working with the Runlet Middle School theater program. And when the kids I work with tell me what they hope to be when they grow up, I say, if you are willing to do the work, anything is possible.
All right, thank you, Ellie and Bailey. So at this point, part of our annual tradition, we're going to have our video. So you'll notice that the video is obviously going to be on the large screen, but we did set up a small TV for those of you hugging the wall over there so you can see it just fine. And I think we're going to slowly get the lights off and set this up, so just bear with us. We are going to dim the lights, and the video is just about 12 minutes long, 13 minutes long. Okay. Get those eyes adjusted there. We have two more student speakers, Samantha Goodson from Health Science, and Mr. And if Mr. Bowman, and Mr. Bowman and Ms. Bean join us, and Lucy Little from Construction Trades, and Mr. Hubbard join us. Both of you right in the middle. So. All right, Sam. So I'm just going to make sure you get good and close to the microphone here.
It's kind of short.
Yeah, just get close to it though. There you go.
Can everyone hear me?
There you go. That's the right question.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Samantha Goodson, and I'm a second-year graduate from the Concord Regional Technical Center's Health Science program. I'm honored by the opportunity to speak and will share some highlights from my experience. Going into high school, I always knew that I was going to apply to the health science program at CRTC. The opportunity to study my desired career topic prior to college was something that I saw as unique and essential. As sophomores, you attend a CRTC preview day where you choose 2 programs to tour. My first choice was obviously health science, and my second choice was cosmetology. The free hand massages and braids were tempting, but it was nothing in comparison to the health science preview day to me. On that day, the program teachers, Mr. Bowman and Mrs. Bean, emphasized that the program content was rigorous and the program was going to be difficult. Somehow, this only made the program more desirable to me. Once accepted into year 1, I discovered that Mr. Bowman and Mrs. Bean's description of the program was pinpoint accurate. There was something different about this experience, though. As a participating student, you have the opportunity to stand out. I did things like being an appointed class representative and giving this speech right now. For those of you who don't know me, these are things that I never would have done at my home school, Pembroke Academy. I embraced each opportunity and felt that I knew myself more and more every time I left that class. During my first year, after my full day of school, I also went to night school to pursue my state of New Hampshire LNA licensure. I did this not only to have a good paying job last summer, but also to position myself for the experience to embrace the Year 2 Extended Learning Opportunity, or ELO. This basically means having the freedom to explore your interests and look into what you want to do. Enthusiastically, I chose to focus on general nursing studies with a slight diversion into the obstetrics field, which is a specialty that I'm choosing to look into in my future. Friends, what an awesome opportunity. This past semester, I experienced a sneak peek into the college atmosphere. While participating in full-time high school, I enrolled and completed a prerequisite class at NHTI that is required in all healthcare degree programs across the country. The class was Anatomy and Physiology 1. This class was difficult, but thankfully I had previously completed Mr. Bowman's Anatomy and Physiology 1 class. Additionally, as part of my ELO, I was also able to work alongside the LNA teacher, Mrs. Bean, and share my LNA working knowledge with the Year 2 students as a student teacher. I assisted my peers who had chosen the Year 2 LNA program with strengthening their skills and knowledge. Being a student to people that are your age puts you in a strange position, to say the least. The CRTC Health Science program was the most beneficial course I have taken in high school. It gave me a look into the real world, and also it gave me opportunities to grow and discover who I want to be. After this experience, I can confidently say that I want to be a registered nurse with specialties in obstetric and geriatric medicine. I owe a big thank you to Mr. Bowman, Mrs. Bean, Mrs. Smith, and Mr. Rothenberg. Thank you all for your time, and congratulations, graduates.
Good. All right, last but not least, Lucy Little from our Construction Trades program with Mr. Hubbard and Rick Foster joining us too? Okay, excellent.
Hi, everyone. If you asked me 2 years ago if I'd ever consider a career in construction, I'd probably laugh in your face, as my interests were purely in the field of hospitality management. I've always loved the idea of traveling and the excitement and hospitality, and then I made the spontaneous decision to join construction trades and hope to be an architect. I know, quick jump, but watching projects come together from drawings to construction sites to completion is overall an exciting process and made me want to be an architect.
Hold on a second. Can you guys hear Lucy? All right,
Okay.
good. I just want to make sure.
Okay. The first day of construction trades class, we were talking about careers, and it was in that moment I realized I did not want to be an architect. So that first week was pretty rough deciding whether or not I was going to stay in the class, and then the gods appeared. The legend himself. Where is he?
There he is.
Mr. Hubbard. But there was one major issue with that. Oh wait, hold on. Mr. Hubbard, my teacher, suggested the idea of construction management. But there was one major issue with that. I didn't want to build. I know, you're in a construction class and you don't want to build. I couldn't tell you. But most of my classmates can attest to the fact that my carpentry skills equate to about a 3-year-old building with Lego blocks. Hubbard set me straight, telling me that while construction managers are involved in every phase of the building project, they don't do any of the actual building. So that's where the fire ignited, and I began hyper-focusing on the idea of a career in construction management. I started doing a little bit of research, realized project managers make about 6 figures, and then jumped right into the job shadows back in October of my junior year. I started with Milestone Engineering, job shadowing Austin Shea, an alumnus of the program, so it was interesting to kind of see how he got from point A to point B with the help of CRTC. After that job shadow, I contacted 7 different companies to see if I could potentially continue the shadows somewhere else and maybe get an internship with one. And to my surprise, none of them responded. So I was about ready to move on, but lurking in the back of my mind was Mr. Hubbard's voice, squeaky wheel gets the grease, which drove me absolutely insane until about mid-October. But if there's one thing about me, I do not like the word no. So I started badgering. After 4 months of emails and working through COVID, one company responded, North Branch Construction. It was their lucky day. Now I understand not every company is waiting in line to hire a 17-year-old girl at the time, but I was determined to find an extended learning opportunity for the school year. North Branch was receiving emails from not only me, but CRTC Work-Based Coordinator Amy Smith and Jennifer Landon from Associated Builders. I was finally starting to get emails after an additional month of waiting for a response, and after a few emails back and forth, they started me as an intern in November, where I basically shadowed construction managers and toured job sites. In December, they offered me a paid job as a project engineer, which is where I am today. My responsibilities fall to the help of supervisors. I work on QC checklists, inspections, POs, pre-cons, inventories, and more, and our job is to basically just make their job easier. My time at North Branch has been an amazing experience. Every supervisor has their own way of working, and learning from each of them has been a learning experience on its own. I've gained many mentors at North Branch, such as General Manager Bruce Blazon, QC Specialist Chad Sawin, and Project Engineer Shrika Shakurti. When I first came to North Branch, I assumed I probably wasn't going to be treated with a lot of respect considering my age and experience level, but then I realized not many of them know how old I am. So often when I go to meet a supervisor or a new employee, they ask me the special question, how old are you? And I tell them I'm 17, and they look at me. No, you're not. Yeah, I am. No. Yeah, there was this one time I had to pull out my ID to show a supervisor that I was indeed 17 years old. Yeah, but I practically have to convince them that I'm 17, but that's how I know I made a good first impression. North Branch gave me an amazing opportunity, but without CRTC, I would not be in this position, let alone this chosen career path. CRTC has provided me with the confidence in my path and has provided me with endless opportunities and connections. Before I came to CRTC, I wasn't confident in my path. I wasn't sure what that next step would be, but I'm happy I made the impulsive decision to join the program. Thank you.
You stay here.
What am I saying?
He's staying here. You guys are all set.
I had to point to Mr. Hubbard to not run off. So many of you can see that Mr. Hubbard is retiring this year. This is really his day. John Hubbard, 21 years at the CRTC, give or take 40 years in the business. He's a New Hampshire native, grew up in Guilford on a dairy farm, built his own home in the North Country. What town? Stratford. And he landed here. One funny story about John, and it reflects on the program, is that, the program was dipping a bit a few years back. And there's a word I use called loyalty. And what we were seeing was students signing up for the program who weren't exactly into the program. I think I use the word sort of backfilling their schedule. And John and I, to his credit, and this really separates CRC teachers, we need to do something different. So John's program for years was about stick building, building a house, which is a valuable set of skills, but it did not span a wide enough field. So John and I huddled, and he agreed to create a program called Construction Trades. Trades involve welding, and electrical, and plumbing, and masonry, and also carpentry. We went from a program that had 30 year one kids seeking entrance to this year 75 kids seeking entrance to the program. And through that, the funny story is that John, who's a young guy relatively, well, I should say he's going to be doing senior citizen skiing at Gunstock this winter, was taking welding courses and plumbing courses, electrical courses. And I think it's fair to say that there were many students in the class that he wasn't just twice their age, he was 3 times their age. And to his credit, he went through it and brought a whole new dynamicism to his students. So a big round of applause for John. So we got a couple of small little gifts for John. So one is on the ski slopes next year. A nice Under Armour jacket. All right. And just to cover you, when you're on the lake this summer, a regular summer shirt too. Just we got all seasons covered for you. We also want to do a quick shout out to Mr. Bowman. Mr. Bowman's been with us for 4 years, but he's really had a great impact. And it's a funny story that Mr. Bowman, unlike the typical CRC teacher, came from the educational side, not from the industry side. And so when we made his plan to become a certified teacher, he needed to get industry experience. So to his credit, in his first year, we did EMT, we outsourced it, brought a company in, and he earned his EMT with the students in his first year. And from that, yeah, it was a great round of applause there. And from that, he works here and has continued his career as an EMT also. Brian is going to be going to North Carolina, and he gave me one line the other day. He said, "This job has been so great for me, I can't imagine doing another teaching job." And he's actually going to be changing his career. So, neat story. So, at this point, we're going to switch gears and give out our certificates. So, if I could get everybody positioned up, and it's going to take about 30 seconds or so. I do want to tell all the students, just a reminder what I said earlier today, we did a short practice, that if we get off on your name, something goes wrong, raise your hand. I'm going to be looking your way to make sure we can pause and make it work. So the way we do this process is we have courses in order here. I want to go nice and slow on the first one. Could Miss Moulton, are you ready over there? All right, that's our prize photographer. Thanks, Miss Moulton. By the way, she's taking pictures tonight. They'll all be on Facebook for free. There's no money here involved in that stuff. Okay, so Mr. Gregoire's auto tech class, please stand up. Mr. Gregoire, Mr. Mayor, come forward. It'd be great. And Mr. Emerson and Mr. Bill, by the way. And I'm going to turn Mr. Gregoire, Mr. Mayor, are you ready? All right. So I'm going to say the names. Tyler Barron, Seth Bunnell, Riley Cushman, Donovan Hazelton Davis, Isabella Holmes, Jacob Hutchins, Colby Jones, Logan Keene, Camden LaPointe, Brian Lowe, Alex Morrill, Parker Martell, Nicholas Palillo, sorry about that, Logan Poisson, Abu Sanchez Ariza, Bailey Yo, and Mr. Gregoire class, you guys can have a seat. We're going to call up our education and behavioral science folks. Stand up, please. Miss Cook, by the way, Miss Cook, if you could wave to the audience a little bit. Miss Cook is the current CTE Teacher of the Year. We all should know that. She's joined by Lenny Smith, who's a licensed social worker and longtime educator who's been providing some custom teaching for our students who want to become social workers and counselors. All right. Ms. Cook, you ready? Okay. Megan Aslanian. Sarah Bennett. James Bruns. Caleb Buxton, Paige Cutting, Alexis Johns, Emma Labrie, Nadia Lane, Catherine Langille, Sarah LaPointe, Sophia LeBlanc, Danielle LeMay, Owen Marquette, Catherine Martin, Trinity Matthews, Whitney Moses, Taryn Poisson, Alan Ramirez, Madison Roberge, Taylor Robinson, Taylor Trisciani, Julia Vaughn, and I apologize, Amy Gray. Okay, you guys will slide right in there. We all set, Ms. Cook? Yep, you're good. The PA students had their graduation practice today, so their first time practicing with us. Next up is Mr. Mayott's Auto Tech class. Please stand up. Mr. Gregoire, you guys, Mr. Mayotte, you ready? Okay. Trevor Braley. Zachary Fifield. Keegan Franklin. Brett French. Boston Homer. Peyton Marshall. Charles Mukill. Michael Miller. Cam Pacheco. Anthony Palillo. Sullivan Ramare. Logan Stevens. Cody Ugarte. Mr. Mayor, are we good? All right, you guys can have a seat, thank you. I want to switch back this. So up next will be graphic design. Mr. Mungavan, are you ready? As ready as you're ever going to be. Oh, wait, okay. Alicia Anderson. Olivia Berkeley. Ashlyn Berman. Emma Blankhorn. Quincy Bolduck. Elizabeth Brown. Jordan Buderbaugh. Sarah Culberson. Ethan Everett. Tyler Grierson. Victoria McCormick. Haley Meaty. Allison Miner. Thomas Panabianco. Hannah Noah Pendleton. Madison Raymond. Dominic Rosario. Isaac Shaughnessy. Raylan Shee. Matase Singer. Ryan Smith. Caitlin Spinney. Averiana Strickland. All right, Mr. McGaugh, we good? All right, have a seat, guys. Next up is our Culinary and Pastry Arts program. Chef Wilkins, Chef McCarter, are you going to come up? There we go, perfect. Chefs, are we ready? Thumbs up? Okay, good. McKenna Avents. Anna Coronati. Sarah Daniels. Matthew DeRoche. Lucas Fries. Riley Gagnon. Elizabeth Gilbert. Sky Goudreau. Emily Lighthall. Mary Liptak. Jace Merrill. Gavin Plouffe. Hugo Serrano. Amora Ulig. Evelyn Williams. And Isis Young. All right, I guess Colin, you sit down, you're good. So I'm actually going to stay on the same side for a second. So I know, I'm messing up a little bit. Computer engineering, please stand up. Ms. Marcoux, let me know when you're ready. There you go. Look like you're ready. All right. Hassan Amiri. James Bell. Annalise Bellarado. Andrew Bankston. Thomas Bryant. Abraham Dunn. Joseph Foote. John Kenyon. Liam Mercado. David Mezzapelli. Ethan Nolet. Alexis, I'll get this right, Anne-Marie Rosalind Plant. Evan Perkins. Dylan Sheehy. And Ryan Wood. Okay. Ganesh Pandey. Hey. Woo-hoo. Ganesh, you played that perfectly. I was looking over there. Why is that kid standing up over there? Ganesh, I'm sorry about that. My apologies. I did have an arrow with you down here, so I apologize. All right, we have a lot of health science right now. So let's take the first group of health science. Health science LNA, please stand up. Ms. Bean, you're going to join us up front. Bowman, there we go. Oh, we got to slide one in. Double seat that one. And let me know when you're ready, and we'll get started. Ms. Bean, Mr. Bowman, you ready? Thumbs up. Great. All right. Katarina Burke. Sadie Chandonette. Annabelle Charette. Mia Contreras. Hementa Darji. Emma Ducharme. Hannah Funches. Abigail Goulas. Lacey Grillo. Sarah Janess. Molly Knight. Jillian Lemana. Lexi Magnell. Taylor Mandile. Julia Manning. Hope Marcoux. Lily May. Ryan Ritkers. Stephanie Segura. Madeline Terrell. Maya Testa. Cassandra Vandervale. Trista Voisin. Alyssa Woodman. And you guys, Miss Bean, Mr. Bowman, stay up there if we're good. Just want to make sure we're set. We'll solve it in the end. Okay, LNAs, please have a seat. Well, great job. And next, our health science EMTs, please stand up. Ready to go? Olivia Baker. Mallory Barrett. Liam Dooley. Seven Doporowski. Sydney Furland. Michaela Graham. Everett King. Taylor Lamb. Mackenzie McDonald. Keely Okavikis. Anthony Sherrill, Jacob Shapiro, Ashley White. And our EMTs can sit down. And next up, our health science ELOs, please stand up. Amy joined them up there, yep. Those of you here, Amy Smith's joining us, who's our work-based learning specialist, who's done amazing work with the ELO students. Colette Brochu, Riley Constance, Samantha Goodson, Haley Jaeri, Alicia Keene, Ava Kias, Keegan Kelly, Catherine Kennedy, and Kaylee Nault. And next up, oh, not yet. I'm a little too quick on it. Well done, guys. Congratulations. All right, thank you, health science folks. Next up, Mr. Hubbard, Construction Trades. Mr. Hubbard's joined by Rick Foster, who's a foster grandparent for the Friends program. Mr. Hubbard, you ready? Okay. Alexander Anderson, Ben Boudet, Anthony Brock, Bryson Kate, Andrew Conley, Reese Owen Gilbert, Pierce Kimball, Christopher Lesner, Lucy Little, Harvey Marston, Braden McAlpine. Oh, did I miss somebody? Oh. Mr. Hubbard, did I miss somebody over there? Ben? No, I got Ben Boudet. Ryan McSweeney. Jonah Nevue. Ashton Radcliffe. Noah Renkert. Panache Tamang. Zachariah Thomas. Brady True. Demetros John. Leonidas Saarvakas. That was a tough one. Sarovakas, sorry. And Griffin Watts. Nicholas White. And Ben Boudet, I want to make sure you heard your name. I don't know what happened there earlier. We're good? All right, thank you. Okay, the next up, so sometimes we have teachers and students in uniform, then we truly have people in uniform. So next up is our emergency services program. Lieutenant Duckworth, wave your hand over there. So Lieutenant Duckworth, come on up. We probably should have had him go first because he's on call right now. He's actually active on duty tonight, waiting for the call. So we're going to get kids up very quickly. Lieutenant Duckworth, anybody joining up here in your gang here or what? Yeah, let's go. Let's get them all up here. Everybody's on duty tonight, right? So we got free EMTs tonight. There's a lot of EMTs in here. Mike, all right. There we go. This program is very unique that's taught by active firefighters and EMTs. Yeah, that's right. All of our emergency service students stand up. Great. Chautel Allen Burdett. Elizabeth Bean. Louise Bishop. Noah Brent. Liz Fallon, Leah Harris, Sarah Lewis, Jonathan McDonald, Nathan Nichols, and Parker Riesling. Nice job. Well done. Have a seat, guys. Next up, criminal justice, please stand up. And Ms. Bowden, come on up. Ms. B, are you ready? All right. Jennifer Champagne. Nicholas Coy. Nicholas Doloff. Alicia Duquette. Fatma Ejam. Liberty Fur. Sienna Harlow. Justine Hoyt. Aiden Lacasse. Diego Lazat. Sierra Mason. Michaela McCurley. Ty Pacheco. Ashley Panzino. Emma Ramsey. Madison Rue. Emma Torrilla. Joshua Tremblay. And Ryden Weldon. Excellent. Thank you. Ms. B, you set? Okay. All right, next up, our theater and film acting program. Mr. Close, come on up. And let me know when you're ready, Mr. Close. Good? Okay. Adriana Carroll. Ray Dunlap. Lillian Graham. Rachel Gross. Lulu Morissette. Riley Nash. Jonah Raycroft. Cecily Schultz. It should be noted that Lulu and Riley did 4 years. Is that correct, Mr. Close? No? I have it off. I apologize. We'll adjust that later. Okay, next up, thank you, acting group. Now for our production design group. If you guys could stand up, please. Oh, I see what I made a mistake on, Mr. Close. We'll recover now. I take that back on those two. Great students, but not 4 years. Eli Boucher. Bailey Kern. Dylan Lorden. Seth Lorenz. Madden McLeod. Christopher Renault. And Selena Werner. And I'll recover on this one. Bailey and Chris did the 4 years. That's my mistake right there. Am I wrong thing now? Well done. And last but not least, our cosmetology program. Please stand up, and Ms. Kim, come on up. Ms. Kim, are you ready? Okay. Natalie Allen. Sarah Donnelly. Elle Dupre. Destiny Emery. Zoe K. Lacey. Alyssa Mulholland. Emily Paul. Savannah Redmond. Lacey Sleeper. Lily Smith. Devin Stromack. And Madison Whiting. Oh. All right. So do we miss anybody? Good. Thanks, cosmetology. I'm going to say last words for a minute. We're going to wrap it up. About 10 years ago, I went up to Norwich Academy, Norwich College, and we went to a symposium there about forensics. And there was a investigator from New York State named Robert Appleton there who gave a talk to our students. And he was giving them a sort of general talk. And he sort of said, look, you're going to start your career. And you're going to get all these opportunities to take an extra case, or do overtime, or do a ride along with somebody to somewhere you haven't been before to see a case. And his message was, don't worry about the extra hours, don't worry about the weekends, don't worry about the overtime, don't worry about your plans. Take every opportunity. Opportunities early in your life can never be, sometimes, ever received again. I urge you, as you embark at age 17 and 18 on your roads, don't weigh yourself down with debt. Don't weigh yourself down with things that don't matter. Keep yourself flexible to pursue careers and pursue roads in your career without hesitation. You're going to do us proud, and we can't thank you enough for choosing the CRTC. I want to thank a few people here. Ann Fowler, wherever you are. So Ann's our director. She must be somewhere right there, right behind me. Ann will be taking over for me next year, which is great. Jennifer Strong-Rain, where are you? There's she back there. Lauren Vessels, where are you? There she is, tucked away. Lauren's getting married on Saturday, too. Oh, boy. We want to thank Beth York and Dave Moore, Mr. Close for the PA, and Dan Gontars, facility head, and Lynn Moulton for the photos tonight. Thank you very much. So at this point, I'm going to ask all of our teachers to sort of form a gauntlet over here. So as our students go, you're going to line up as they exit. I'm going to ask the students to stand up. It'll be great. We haven't done the gauntlet for a couple of years because of COVID. Those of you who don't know, this event was done in the parking lot for the past 2 years. Okay, at this point, folks, let's give a big round of applause. And students, if you could be exiting, here we go. Oh. Okay. No.